Hello, 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 listening audience. Hi, hello, and howdy. My name is Whirl. Welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. This was done completely unplanned. We just decided to do a thing. I am joined today by the wonderful, amazing, fantastic, and talented. Please introduce yourself.
Heartless, and I will be playing Gille Trebble.
Excellent, excellent. We love to see it. Okay, let me make sure I actually have the right character. I do not have the right character pulled up. Where is she? Let's see.
Sorry, I just decided, hey, this might be fun. Whoop!
Hey, I'm partially to blame because I did recommend it. Like, I did, say that, hey, if you want to do this, hit me up. I just wasn't expecting it to be 15 minutes later. Okay.
I'm sorry. Gille... Okay, so this is coming out of the 12 FPS called, Caught Falling, where Bob and Gille have a conversation about, nemesises and relationships. And Bob gave Gille some pretty fantastic advice to just go and talk to Sammy and just, ask him out on a date.
You know, as you do.
So, Gille is a little impatient. Bob, of course, has to do work and stuff like that, and Gille decided that he was going to go try to find Sammy himself, and he got lost.
As you do. Alright.
I'm not even going to roll, because that's the premise of this, is him getting lost.
Yep. But I am going to actually ask you to roll something real quick. Roll me, either survival or perception. I know they're both shit.
Well, his perception is a +1, so because he's got glasses.
He does, in fact, have glasses.
So that's...
Which somehow also enhance all of his other senses. That's a 13. Okay, the DC was a 10. You're fine. Gille?
It would have been a 10, given if it was survival.
Yeah. Gille, you can smell rain coming. You are lost on the city streets, and you can smell rain. And if you look up at the sky overhead, those clouds are suddenly very dark.
He kind of shrugs and keeps going.
You know what? Fair enough.
It's going to rain. He's been out in the rain before. Doesn't really bother him.
Gille, you're going
to be
catch
soaked.
Cold, I swear. Alright, well that's not the reaction I was expecting, because, most people, when they see rain coming, their reaction is, oh shit, better get inside. But seeing as it is not your reaction, as you are walking along, it does in fact start to fucking pour buckets of rain on your head.
And, well, as the rain is hitting, the armor goes ping, 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 ping. Because that's rain hitting plate armor.
Oh, lordy. I can't believe you wear that stuff around everywhere.
And, after a couple of minutes, he's gonna start looking around for a place to go inside, because...
Well, you're in...
It is kind of cold.
Yeah, it's cold, because it's still, it's late winter, but it's still winter! This rain is, halfway to freezing.
And as much as he's perfectly fine with getting soaked in the rain, being cold in the rain is a very unpleasant experience.
Yeah. Well, luckily for you, on this street that is otherwise lined with shops and businesses and whatnot that seem to be closed up for the day, because, it's kind of late in the afternoon. You just apparently decided to do this after having a conversation, not paying attention to the time. And but luckily, even though all the rest of them seem to be closing up, there is this, abandoned looking theater across the way from you. Uh, and, well, technically, abandoned places never close. They're never open, but
Uh,
they're never closed either, and, it's free real
Gil
estate.
is Gil is making a beeline for that because abandoned places could be haunted, and that's cool.
You know what? Fair enough. Okay. How are you going to try and get into this place?
Um, hmm. I'm gonna try the door first to see if it's locked.
It's not locked. You can turn the handle on the door. The problem is there are some pretty heavy slats over the door barring it. That way that they like nail up boards over the door to keep people from trying to break in, like you are doing right now.
Oh darn it! Now he's gonna look for a window.
Uh, do you walk around the building or
Um, don't initially see any windows, so I guess I'm gonna start walking around the building, try to figure out a way in.
yeah, okay, roll me perception or
Um,
investigation. Perception or investigation, one of the two.
let's see. My investigation should be better. Yes, it's a +2, so that's I'm investigating.
That's an 18. All right, in your
Mm-hmm.
fancy schmancy handy dandy investigation of trying to find a way in, you do in fact find some vents that lead in. You also find a couple of boarded up windows that look like they might be big enough for you to squeeze through. But they are pretty small because it's a theater. It's supposed to
Ooh,
be dark inside. Um,
ooh, a vent.
ooh, a
Very
vent.
attracted to the vent. Gonna try to get into the vent.
Okay, there was also a back door, but but vent. Okay. Yeah, you can climb up a couple of these old shipping boxes that are still back here to try and get into the vent if you like.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Should I roll athletics?
Go ahead.
It's, ooh, that's nice. That's a 19.
Oh
So I roll
damn.
a 17, and that's a +2.
Good job. All right. So you climb up. You climb up these boxes, up the wall, knock open the vent, and now you are in a vent.
Yes! I'm gonna start crawling inside.
Uh, well, it's definitely already warmer. It's also, a vent that's been closed for years, so it's dusty. Roll me a con save just to see if you wind up sneezing.
It's, it's a +4. Oh, nice! That's an 18 +4.
You do not sneeze.
I'm used to crawling through vents because that's pretty much all I did while I was hanging around the studio.
Good lord, Gil. At least those vents are well swept, though. These ones, you kind of have to, adjust your hands every once in a while to not put your hand right down on a screw that's just sort of sticking up. Um,
uh,
but eventually you do find an exit to this vent.
mm-hmm.
And it leads out into the main audience area, specifically one of the boxes, one of the box seats,
Mm-hmm.
the floating ones, in the actual theater room.
I'm gonna grin wildly as I look around. Enter a new area, make a perception roll.
Indeed. Good
Oh
job.
no.
You're
Oh no,
learning.
that's a 2.
Okay, roll at advantage. I can't tell you anything with a 2. Like,
Huh, it's dark in here.
darn, this really sure is a room. This is a room.
My dice are bullying me. That was
That's
a
a
3.
4. That's a 4. Okay,
That's a
yep.
total for
You know what? Just this once, peck the dice on Gil's perception.
4.
Uh,
Dark room.
it's dark. Uh, there's seats. There's seats. Uh, there certainly are a lot of seats. There are many chairs. Um, there's a big, wow, there's a big empty area down there. Wonder what that could be, given that this is a theater.
Well, it's probably the stage.
Probably. You're not sure. You rolled a 4. But yeah, you are inside this theater now. What are you going to do, Gil?
Well, first I'm going to take my hair and I'm gonna wring it out.
I think, like, as you do this, it's comically like turning on a faucet and there's just a puddle.
Yes. And then he's going to. well, there's nothing up here, so maybe I should go down there. I'm gonna start looking over the edge to
Gil,
see if there's a way down.
Gil, do not fucking joke. It's a box seat at a theater. Of course there's a way down. There's a set of pecking stairs, you maniac. You dramatic ass bitch. There is a set of stairs. It's behind you.
Yes, yes, I know Voice from the Beyond, but it's just more fun this way. Come on.
Okay, fine. If you want to jump, you're gonna have to make a pretty high dex save to not snap your neck. But go the fuck ahead.
What if I Misty Step?
If you Misty Step, that's fine. Although it's a bit more than 30 feet down, and I think Misty Step is only 30 feet. It's like 70
So
feet
I'm
down.
going to jump, and I'm going to Misty Step.
Alright, I'm going to need you to roll something for that.
Make me roll a dex, but hopefully not as bad because I Misty Stepped.
Yeah, sure. I would say roll intelligence because, you know, you're calculating where you need to Misty Step to get to the ground safely.
Okay. For the intelligence, that's a 15 plus 2.
Alright, that's a 17. You managed to not snap your neck by pulling this piece of shit move. And you are now on the ground floor of the theater, standing on one of the chairs.
I'm going to hop off the chair.
Yep, and you are now in a theater that is very thoroughly abandoned. As you hop off the chair, you land and it creates a cloud of dust. This place has been abandoned for God only knows how long. But standing here, you can in fact see that the curtains are up and the way to the backstage of the stage area is in fact open.
Ooh. Hey, Psychopomp. I know you might still be mad at me, but I just wanted to say this place would be perfect for scaring people, wouldn't it? It's just gonna go head backstage. He's gonna head backstage as he says that.
Yep, sorry, momentarily got blindsided by feelings. Anyway, so you head backstage, darn. Well, it's weird. Whoever was here, they left in a hurry, because they didn't take anything with them. Everything is still in order. There's still furniture, still old props that are kind of moldering away in the darkness. There's, you know, sad theater curtains that are starting to get eaten up by moths. That's a lot of moths. There's there's also a couple doors back here. Uh, let's see. Oh, and there is one that's huh. It's not really a door. It's a gate. There's just a gate
Okay,
in the
there's a
back
gate.
wall here. Why is there a gate here?
That's that's odd. I'm gonna. Is it short enough that I can hop over it, or do I have to actually like lockpick it or something?
I mean, I would test to see if it's locked first, but no, it is one of those gates that's like the size of a door, and it's like actually very intricately made, very like nice swirly cast iron designs. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to open it.
okay. Well, there was a chain, but as you sort of tug on the gate, this chain is so fucking old that it just sort of cracks and falls off with a loud clank.
Well, let's see what they wanted to keep chained up back here.
Okay. So you walk down what actually is a set of steps behind the gate. It's short. It's not like you're going down a whole floor, but
Mm-hmm.
the the gate keeps it like transitioning from the backstage of the theater into a little cobblestone tunnel.
Hmm. Well, this isn't something you see every day.
You must not spend a lot of times around old theaters then. Or at least not in
He,
Inkwell.
I mean, the thing about Gil is that a lot of the time he's spending more time around haunted houses.
Fair enough.
So, because haunted houses are significantly the most spooky buildings you can be around.
And we all know that Gil likes being a spooky boy.
I mean, scaring people is what Psychopomp likes to do. So Gil also likes to scare people.
Like patron, like paladin. I understand. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you head down this cobblestone pathway. Roll me perception real fast as you're walking.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a 14 plus 1.
That's a 15. All right, not bad. Um, so as you're walking, something catches your eye out of the corner of your eye. You see with every sort of step you make, these certain stones on the wall, they light up and glow like a ripple is going through them.
Huh. That's very interesting. I don't think I've seen something like that before.
um well, actually, you have. Uh
Have?
hey Hart, do you think that Gil is wearing the necklace he got from Rad?
Um, he did get a necklace from Rad. I remember that. Actually, yes. I think he put it on. It's probably underneath his turtleneck,
Hmm.
kept very safe.
Aw, soft. Um well, you can feel as the ripple goes through the stone, there's also sort of a warm pulse from the stone of the crystal in time with it.
Gil reaches up to touch the crystal underneath his turtleneck and goes, "Wait a sec.
Does
What?"
does he stop?
He does. No, he doesn't stop walking, but he's thinking and probably slightly muttering to himself as he's holding the necklace, or actually just touching the necklace underneath his clothing,
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the rippling patterns on the wall.
They change when you talk. Sparks of bright orange edged with deep red and even just a teeny tiny hint of purple um, spark across the walls like fireworks as you talk.
Huh.
They look like fireworks or like shooting stars.
Huh. Curiouser and curiouser.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't remember where Bob said that Red got these stones.
oh, wouldn't it be lovely if you did? But I think at
I
that
mean,
point,
I could roll a history because he's thinking about it.
sure, go
11 plus
ahead.
5.
11 plus 5, that's pretty good, but I think that's up to you whether or not you want him to remember.
Nah.
For once, Peck the
Hmm.
Dice isn't to make somebody do something, it's to make them not do something.
It'll be funnier this way if he doesn't remember.
Yep. So, Gil, you are walking down this hallway, and there are more and more of these weird, colorful, reactive, magicy stones as you walk further and further down. Uh, and then you can start to smell the rain again. And then um, the the little cobblestone hallway, tunnel, corridor, you're not sure what it is, um, opens out into a little round courtyard. Um, that is protected by sort of a stained glass roof. Basically, it's
Uh,
not raining in the garden. Um,
I was going to say he wasn't going to step out until he did look up to see if it was raining in in this nice courtyard-looking place.
it is not, in fact, raining in this nice little courtyard.
Hmm. Well, this is nice. Just gonna step out into the courtyard.
New area, roll perception!
Yeah. Ah, come on. That's 9 plus 1.
Do you want to use your 16 for this?
Yes.
Alright. You use your 16 for this. And okay, so what can you see? Around this garden, this courtyard, because it is a courtyard, but it is
hmm
also a garden.
Oh,
Um,
there's a lot of plants here.
there are planters around the edges of this courtyard, which is about maybe the size of a bedroom. It's not very big, but it is circular,
Hmm.
and there's a ring of planters around the edges that are sort of bursting with slightly wild and overgrown flowers of, gosh, so many colors. So many pecking colors.
hmm.
There's also like a
Does
couple of
does
fruit
it
trees.
remind does the array of colors remind Gil of Sammy?
That would be up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to play your character. But
hmm.
you might want to let me finish the description before you make
Sorry,
any
go ahead.
judgments, because there's other things that might remind you of a certain someone here. Let's see. There's a little fountain in the middle of the space that's sort of got, again, overgrown, but there's a bunch of water lilies in there, which is nice. And
Hmm.
then there's a couple of fruit trees that are kind of overgrown. Oh, wow, that looks beautiful. Holy shit. Um, so there's a couple of fruit trees that are overgrown and a couple of vegetable plants that it seems like nobody's tended them for a while, but somehow they're still giving like fruit and vegetables. Um,
Hmm.
but there is the main thing that's going to catch your attention is the statue up against the back wall that looks like sort of a shrine, and it's a figure in cast iron of a tall lady wearing a black dress and holding a spear with three eyes and bright blown glass rainbow colored hair. And now, if you'd like, you can roll
Oh.
history or religion.
Rolling history because Gil has seen this figure before.
Indeed.
Oh, come on. But that is a +5. So that's 14.
You know what? Roll at advantage because you have a specific reason to have memorized this figure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a nat 20? Okay.
Well then,
I get a 25, guys.
applause, applause. Gil, you recognize this figure, which is kind of overgrown with vines, and there's an altar in front of it that has several candles that are kind of just burnt down to nothing. You recognize this to be a statue of the goddess of soul and characterization, Prismatone, aka the patron goddess of your nemesis.
Yep. And Gil goes, oh. Huh. Well, it's... I was going to say it's fancy seeing you here, but this place is pretty, pretty much like the attic that I, saw you last in.
Yeah, it's not exactly my fanciest locale, and Gil, that voice comes from behind you.
Gil literally jumps at least 2 inches in the air.
Love scares, but can't handle having them dished at you, huh?
It's not that I can't handle it. And he turns around. It's just that I scare really easily because, I have this hard time hearing with these ears.
And, Gil, there is somebody just kind of sitting on the edge of the fountain who's. You think she's smiling at you, because, it is. You've gotten used to reading smiles from people who don't show their mouths. Um. And the same figure from the statue is just kind of chilling, sitting on the edge of the fountain, crisscross applesauce, with her hands in her lap. Hi, Gil. Nice to meet you at last.
Hi. Gil's gonna look to the statue and look back to her. I have a bad track record with talking to other such powers, so if I offend you,
I'm not gonna stab you. Relax.
honestly,
That's behavior saved for the bitchier of our elite order.
um, Gil's going to just kind of come over and just offer a hand to shake because it's polite, and I guess he's being polite right now. Hi.
She shakes
It's
your hand.
nice. It's nice to meet you too, Prismatone, I presume.
Indeed, guilty as charged.
um. Hmm. Gonna take a moment to gather his thoughts. So this is I've stumbled upon one of your holy places.
Eh,
I don't.
she kind of wavers her hand back and forth. I mean, from the state of it, it's not so holy anymore, but yeah, it is one of the places that I could appear without, dying. So that's fun.
Well, that seems a little extreme. Um.
Oh, dying might be a bit of an exaggeration. It's more like I can appear here physically, and other places I cannot.
Hmm.
Still kind of recovering from 30 years in exile. It's fine. Anyway, what brings you to my neck of the woods this day? And you're free to roll insight on this, but you get the feeling she already knows.
I'm gonna roll insight. Okay, that's not too bad. Though it's -2 as always, but that's not too bad a roll. That's a 19 -2, which is 17.
Yeah, she kind of has this very like relaxed, chipper, upbeat way about her, but you can also tell that yeah, she knows what you were trying to do.
Hmm. The see is I got lost. And, well, that theater back there is very interesting. Very spooky.
It does have its lovable quirks. Ellen's been in ages. I think you might have scared it more than it would have possibly scared you or anyone else.
Marvelous.
Like, oh hey, I'm just gonna be asleep for the next God only knows how long because nobody's gonna come visit me. Oh shit, there's a person breaking in my beds. What the hell?
uh, hmm. So, do you often just kind of show up and scare people? Because if so, uh, I don't know if Psychopump's up to talking. He hasn't talked to me in a while.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Don't worry. I'll be talking to him soon. Anyway, but
Hmm.
don't worry about it. Everything's gonna work out fine. And she smiles at you, and it actually is kind of a reassuring thing. And she says, "But yeah, I don't intend for it to happen, but every time meet somebody new, it seems to be because they talk to one of my statues, I hear them talking to me, I show up to say hello, and they don't expect it. I mean, if you say hello, expect someone to say hello back."
Uh, the funny thing is I'm, well, the last time I said hello, nothing happened, so,
Last time, I don't think I've ever talked to you before.
let's
Wait, you
see,
mentioned an attic earlier, right?
yes, there was,
Oh,
one of your statues up in my old attic.
oh, criminy. And she looks. I mean, roll insight on this goddess, I guess.
Roll insight on the goddess. Goddesses who are deities who are unknowable. That's 13 -2.
That's a 10. Okay, with that, you kind
Oh,
of get.
that's an 11.
That's an 11. With an 11, that's like one better than average. So you kind of, like, she, like, pinches, like, where the bridge of her nose would be if she had one. And she looks really kind of embarrassed and exasperated. And she says, "About how long ago would this have been?"
Um, I was 4. Yeah, I was 4. I'm 19 now.
15 years ago? Ugh, yeah. Oh, sweetheart, I am so sorry. I literally could not have heard you if I tried back then. I was locked up in a place where literally nothing exists. So I'm terribly sorry for being so rude. Please forgive me.
He raises an eyebrow. Hmm. Well, I wouldn't beat yourself up about it. I do know someone who was locked up somewhere for quite a while, and he raises a hand and kind of taps the symbol hanging from his horn, and it jangles.
And she kind of nods, and it's funny, the sound of the rain from overhead gets a little stronger, and there's a faint tint of blue to the light in the area for a moment before she shakes her head. And she says, "Still, sorry for leaving you hanging like that, but at least I can talk to you this time."
um, well, I kind of wondered why your statue was up there, but, well, there are a lot of things I don't know about my family, I guess, or ex-family.
How's the new one treating you?
Honestly, I didn't think it was possible I could have a new one. Psst, but there they are.
There indeed. It's been good to
Talked to my brother the other day.
Oh boy.
At least that's what he said.
Oh, you mean Bob?
Yeah, Bob, my brother.
Well, you have several, so it's kind of hard to tell who you're talking about, but
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. I get it. I mean, hell, I only have one sibling, but if I said, "Oh yeah, I talked to my sibling the other day," you would have no idea who I'm talking about.
Gil
Um,
gives a shrug. There's a lot of, I don't know, religion stuff that I don't know about. He just does air quotes.
eh, religions are weird. Anyway, but yeah, I talked to him the other day. We bitched about retrospect for a couple minutes.
You know, it gets even funnier every time you curse.
What? You think that
That's
I, the
hilarious.
goddess of voices, am going to limit my vocabulary? I say whatever the fuck I want.
I don't know. Some people would think the deities would be dignified. He falls on the ground and just starts kicking as he laughs.
And she kind of doubles over laughing a bit too, and she's just like, "Oh yes, the ever so regal and dignified pantheon of Einquell, who is definitely not comprised of 3 luck deities, a fucking teenager, somebody who shouldn't even be a god, a very tired judge, a crab, a musical note, and a bunch of ink that somebody was stupid enough to put voices into. Yes, we are clearly the most high and dignified status of we're just people. We're just people, kid. Sure, we're immortal and have unfathomable power, but we're just people. Anyone who tries to act otherwise is lying out their ass.
Gil gets up from the ground, just kind of brushes himself off.
Here, you're still soaked. And she snaps her fingers, and your clothes are dry now.
Fancy.
Gotta use the magic for something, right?
Well, I suppose. I think he's going to actually move over and sit down, not like directly next to her, but in a nice distance, being companionship.
Companionable?
That's it. That's the word I was trying to say.
Don't worry, English is hard. Yep, she is perfectly fine with this. I mean, you do not know this, but her, I guess, main follower, like her current only real cleric, has a habit of just kind of sitting on her lap every time he talks to her, so this is fine.
I mean, Gil's not going to do that.
No. But Brizzatone is used to being used as a jungle gym, so she's fine with you sitting next to her, for Christ's sake.
You mentioned you were going to talk to Psychopomp. Do you know why he hasn't talked to me? Kind of worried.
Hmm. Yes, but I don't know if it's my place to say. He's well, you kind of hit the nail on the head the other day, actually, with your mention of being upset at having other friends. I think he's jealous. Uh, and also a little scared that you might end up leaving him behind, because, you're kind of his only friend.
I'm not gonna leave him behind. Gil kind of frustratingly folds his arms over his chest.
I know. You wouldn't do that. That's not in your character. You're very much a no one left behind type person, even when you were trying to go at the whole villain thing. I mean, heck. Look at last night for evidence of that. Good to see you with your colors back, by the way.
Ah. Oh, yeah, I, I don't usually change color.
It's a matter of confidence. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I mean, I'd say roll insight, but
She has a
I know
plus
the
32.
modifier.
You know what? Let's just
I know
roll
the
it for
modifier.
fun. Let's just roll it for fun.
I'm gonna roll deception for fun.
Let's just roll it for fun. She got a 43.
Yeah, that's a 17 for me.
You can hide nothing from the eyes of Rainbow Mother.
He's definitely trying to figure that out because he's never changed color before. His design has never had a color changing element before. This is completely 100% new.
Oh, look at it
Did
this
this
way. At
come
least
from his redesign? What's going on?
and she kind
Is
of
the thoughts that are crossing his face.
yeah. And she kind of notices this and laughs and says, "Relax, at least you only have 3 colors to memorize."
Uh.
The third one comes later. Anyway,
Hmm. Well, uh, only 3?
mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like a lot, but
Nah, you're pretty static.
Sammy changes colors.
He does. And you can roll insight on the goddess if you like, but also I'm willing to make her a bit of an open book for this, seeing as she's going to beat you soundly anytime you try and roll insight. Attempt she tries to roll insight on you. Yeah, you know what? Peck the dice. You can read her. She's not trying to hide anything. Um, so the light goes like a little yellow in the space you're in, and the sound of the fountain's little splish splash splish gets a little louder. Uh, and she has like the smiley look in her eyes, and she says, "Yeah, yeah, he does. He's a sweet kid. I love him."
Well, that's good because, given the chance, he seems to always want to talk about you. So,
Oh, he's a sweetheart. I don't think even back when I was in full power, I had any sort of cleric like that. But I do my best to look out for him. Speaking of which, and she kind of smiles at you and is like, so, where are you gonna ask him out on a date to?
uh, Gil's tail starts doing loops, and he just kind of looks away from the goddess and uh, goes, "Ah, I, I don't know. I maybe was thinking a movie, but the last time that, well, when we first met, and I kind of pissed him off, even though I can't do that anymore."
Hmm, yeah. Well, it would be a way to show you are, what's the term? Willing to make him comfortable, if you did do that. But I could offer a couple suggestions for locations if you like.
Mm, I guess you could say them out loud. I could pretend that I didn't hear it from anywhere.
What? No, you heard it from nothing, from no one. It was a voice in your head from the great beyond.
That happens quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, yeah, you've got some kind of connection to the narrators, kid. Um, and she kind of laughs and tilts her head back and says, "Now let me think. I know Sammy likes gardening, so if you took any sort of trip to a place that was outside a nice park, he might like that. Um, the movies is actually not a bad idea. He really does enjoy those. Um, hmm. If you're looking for more of an activity that you could both enjoy, there are certain types of restaurants and whatnot that have murder mystery elements. Those are always fun. Might
Hmm.
want to go for one of the more lighthearted ones though. Um,
Hmm.
just because
I
some of
don't.
them can get very intense.
Hmm. I don't think I have enough gold to go to a restaurant.
Yeah, understandable. Honestly,
That's.
you spend like it's burning a hole in your pocket, kid.
Well, ill-gotten gains can be. I mean, if I have it.
Ah, more evidence to the crimes you've committed.
Kind of superstition, I guess.
Fair enough.
My ill-gotten gains being tracked. People tracking me down.
Hmm.
Which still happens a lot. The other day, Lotus the bounty hunter found me.
Oh,
All she
goodness.
wanted to do was ask me questions.
Let's see. Which one is she? And Prismatone actually, like, reaches into the sort of darkness that makes up her skirt and pulls out a
Mm-hmm.
couple different, like, balls of color and starts like flicking through them, and with each one that she like pulls out, she sort of pulls it out into an extended design for a moment and is like, nope, that's not it. Nope, nope, that one's not it either. Lotus. Oh, her. Marina, I think she's going by nowadays. Yes.
I suppose that was her name. Um,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I have yet to tell Marcel that he's friends with an old bounty hunter.
Well, that is definitely the sort of information that might become relevant if he chooses to keep up contact with her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, knowing
It's
him, he
mostly
might not have
just
a choice.
it's mostly just funny.
Uh, of course he would make friends with someone like that. You know, Wish is not nice to her warlocks. It's all for character development, she swears. Bitch, I am the goddess of characterization. I see through your shit. You just want a good story.
Ah,
And actually, you can roll insight when she mentions character development and people
Mm-hmm.
doing not nice things for character development. That's a 3 minus 2. Okay.
Yeah.
You. I'm gonna
Do you want
say,
me to roll at advantage?
you know what? Yeah, I can't do anything with a 3 minus
I'll pick another dice to see if my other dice will be nicer. It's better, but it's still bad.
2. You know what? I'm not gonna make it a high DC. It was a 5. Because Prismatone is very expressive. Like, looking at her, you
Mhm.
wouldn't expect her to be expressive because, pretty much blank face. She doesn't have a lot in the way of body language, but it's weird because the environment around her expresses for her.
Mhm.
Um, and the candles on the altar catch fire for a moment and crackle
Oh.
in a way that sounds a little annoyed before going out. And the light turns momentarily red before switching back to just sort of the normal ambient light color. And basically, you can take that to mean that Prismatone has had some experience lately with people who have said that they are doing not great things to help someone's character development, and she's very miffed about it.
Gil reaches up and presses against his chest and goes, Some people don't know when to stop and keep their nose out of things.
Indeed, some people don't know when their interference is unwanted. And I don't know if Gil speaks Sylvan, but she mutters something in Sylvan
Let's
that
see if
sounds
they'll
suspiciously like a
Sylvan.
curse.
My proficiencies. Da-da-da-da. Nope. Unfortunately, Gil speaks Common, Grolix, and Primordial.
Yeah, so you don't speak Sylvan, so you don't know what this is, but it sounds suspiciously like curse words.
Hmm.
And then she just sort of clears her throat and says, sorry about that. Um, Lovely weather we're having.
Yeah. Honestly, too chilly to stay out in the rain.
Why is it that every time I meet someone lately, it's pouring fucking rain?
I mean, if I would hazard a guess, it's to drive people inside.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't have weather control.
Wonder who does.
Good pecking question. I've actually yet to meet anyone of us who can control the weather. I mean, I suppose the Luck Trinity could if they wanted to, but what did you
That's
just
a
roll
natural
for?
one for religion.
Yeah,
I don't know any.
yeah. I don't think anyone's made a god of like weather and stuff. I should probably do that at some point because everyone knows that I'm good at god creation, apparently. Anyway, um, I guess you could count the ocean as close, but I mean they're more well, water,
Hmm.
the big blue wet thing.
Yeah. Uh, uh, I don't know any. Wasn't really interested in learning about any of the anyone else.
Pantheonic bullshit.
Oh, the Clefs. I don't know. I don't know what they decided to do. I kind of tuned out right after I turned 4.
Rightly so if they threw you in an attic. I might need to have some words with them. Once I am back to full strength.
I mean, I kind of need to talk to my sister.
Sister.
Ex-sister.
Ex-sister. Not the
Yeah,
pink one.
Sulfa.
Oh, her.
I need to talk to her because she's doing some really weird things.
Yes. Very out of character.
Extremely.
And it's not like it's changed her voice color either, so that's... Yeah, I would definitely talk to her if I were you, because I don't actually know what's going on there.
Lotus, or Marina, said that she was going... there were orchestras disappearing and forests burning down, and somehow he reaches up and bats at the symbol and makes it jangle again. She knows more about Psychopomp than either I or he does. And that's concerning.
I think it might be... I think it might be less that she knows something you don't, and more that she's trying to implicate you in something. Because, well, as a, shall we say, following of one to Psychopomp, which, by the way, good job on that. You are definitely making strides towards getting him up there. But given that you are the only follower Psychopomp that pretty much anybody knows of anymore, and given that his
Wait,
symbol is...
did you just say any more? Did you? Because I don't know if I actually heard that right.
She did.
Okay, Gil's going to look straight at her, because he's been kind of not really looking straight at her, kind of just looking into mid-distance.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of, as artists tend to draw characters when they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking into mid-distance, not actually looking completely at each other because the camera needs to see their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
He looks directly at her when she says any more, and he raises an eyebrow. Any more?
Sure. Spirits have got to come from somewhere, right? So, presumably, Psychopomp had a life before the attic. Which means, presumably, he had, at the very least, friends, if not some kind of following.
I'm going to, I don't know what to roll for this, and...
Why don't we just say peck the dice and you do what you like?
Well, the problem is I don't know.
I mean, I'll be honest, Prismatone doesn't exactly know Psychopomp's history, so she's not going to be able to tell you anything if you ask, but, like, she's kind of just putting together that, a spirit has to have a source, which means that at some point Psychopomp was a person, which means at some point he had friends, and given that he's able to give you magic, he might have had a following, seeing as he would have had to be pretty powerful to maintain that, even as a spirit sealed in an amulet.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a logical conclusion type shenanigans.
So the possibility that there are other amulets could be pieces.
I'll tell you this, I don't think that the ones that What's-Her-Face has been leaving around are the real deal. I don't know. Call it godly intuition.
This mystery just keeps going deeper and deeper.
Hell of a rabbit hole. Hmm.
There's
And
so many irons in the fire. Ugh.
a multitude, a rather impressive plethora of not just irons but coppers and silvers and steels in the fire.
Ugh. I thought my life was exciting before when I was making problems on purpose.
Oh, come on, don't tell me you're going to give that up.
Not completely, but, well. Eh.
You've got one in the works nowadays, don't you? I know you just finished the attempted heist last night. Sorry about that. But it seemed
No,
like
that was
everybody
great.
involved had fun. Seemed like
uh,
everybody involved had fun, but might have been a good thing you didn't get your hands on that gemstone. It does tend to summon angry cats.
oh no. Oh no. oh. I didn't know that about it.
Do your homework, numbskull!
Honestly, I just thought it would be fun to do.
I mean, that's fair. It was definitely very fun to watch. Ugh.
Ugh.
The mirrors were very miffed with you.
the mirrors?
You broke one of them.
I didn't break it.
Well, your friend broke it, but
Oh.
they were miffed with both of you.
I wonder why Ross broke it.
Because spooky mirror, he who grab your soul or something.
So is that what that room was about?
I wouldn't go touching the glass.
uh, ugh. Yeah, I have one in the works, but that's
Hmm.
that's different. That's not usual stuff.
Should I roll my insight?
I mean, Gil's not going to say it out loud, but it's probably safe to say that he does view this particular kidnapping very differently than he would view what he did last night.
Hmm. Not so much of a fun and games one then. Higher stakes?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Told him I would.
Oh, it's that one. I don't think he believed you.
He didn't? He's gonna be so surprised.
He's going to be confused out of his mind. He thought you were joking.
Oh, he thought I was joking.
I do try and keep an eye on that one. But yeah, he thought you were joking, so that's gonna be fun. I would recommend if you do that, if you wind up in the office, check the desk for no
The
reason in
desk?
particular.
Hmm.
The thing you're looking for isn't there, but there is something that your brother will find very useful.
I'm gonna roll hammer space. Yeah, that's a 3. So he pulls out a notebook that comes tied to a pencil, and he flips a couple of pages, which he doesn't show to anyone, and writes down amongst a multitude of notes, check desk in office. And then he takes the flips the pages back and takes the book and its pencil and puts it back into his jacket.
And she kind of smiles and says, technically, I'm not actually supposed to tell you that. I imagine the narrator responsible will be very miffed with me later. But, well, helping out my favorites is allowed, I think.
I mean, I'm still gonna have to remember to do that.
Indeed. And that's a couple months down the line in the timeline.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You know, I don't either. I just realized that that wouldn't have been my line. Huh. Anyway, you ever just have things come out of your mouth and you have no idea what the fuck you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, I like my well, but before Bob showed off his, I think he called it a computer. I talked about a computer, but I don't have the slightest idea as to what a computer was back then. I still don't.
I'm pretty sure it's alien tech.
Ah, I see.
Like, you've been hanging around Dodo Studios. You know the little orange and purple one?
Orange, purple.
The fire guy's kid.
The kid.
Mm.
Yeah, I know the kid. I've seen them.
Yeah, they've got one of those, I think. If I remember right. So I'm pretty sure it's alien tech. Because, yeah.
Okay.
Those fancy advanced aliens.
I don't know. I've never properly met an alien myself.
Well, they're an interesting bunch, I'll give them that. And she kind of grins at you and winks and says, still think I'm boring?
Well, honestly, I think the fact that Sammy was concerned that you were going to laugh at him at what happened at that carnival kind of changed my mind.
And she, like, throws her head back and laughs, and you can, like, actually see her mouth for a split second because her eyes, like, close as she's laughing, and a jagged sort of sawtooth mouth smile opens up, and she throws her head back and laughs. And then shakes her head and says, oh, God, that was hilarious. Oh, you two went at each other so hard. He was so flustered.
He was flustered?
Oh, goodness, yes. Before he realized who you are, I think he was, like, having a bit of a crisis.
And Gil's tail is doing loops behind him and forming hearts.
You have a lot more of a chance with him than you really think you do. He likes you, Gil. He thinks you're frustrating as fuck.
Oh, I aspire to be frustrating.
He thinks you're frustrating as fuck, and he doesn't approve of some of your methods. But he likes you. He genuinely likes you. He just doesn't know that you like him back.
I guess not everyone knows about Nemesis relationships then.
No, it's a complicated situation.
So, has Sammy been to this one before?
Nope. You would be able to tell if he'd been here.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a sweetheart. He tends to fix up my shrines whenever he can. I really appreciate it. It really does help me get some of my strength back.
Hmm.
Um, and she kind of looks at the old altar, wrinkles her nose, and says, "They're a little unflattering, though. I mean, I don't carry a spear anymore. Not after I shoved it down Silas's fucking throat."
Silas. Hmm.
Goodness. Just be lucky that you can have the kind of nemesis relationships you have, because when it comes to gods, it's a lot less, about the chase and a lot more about the I disagree with your existence, so I'm going to kill you.
Oh, that's not fun.
It's not! I got fucking trapped in, blank white emptiness for 30 years until I fucking stabbed him through the throat. Or down the throat. One of the two. He's still stuck there. I think he's dead. I tore his teeth out. That was fun. And she taps her crown.
Ah.
I also stole his sword.
I've stolen many a thing in my day, including my rapier.
Oh, I'm sure. How'd you get that one anyway? Where'd you steal it from?
Oh, I took it from Lord Clef's vault.
Of course you did.
He didn't expect me to have the combination, but I figured it out.
Clever. I'll admit, Clef rings a bell, but I don't think I've ever actually met any of them. Guess they just weren't interesting enough to pop up on my radar.
They're just a bunch of hack bards. Not really worth the time.
Hmm. Well, it takes a certain level of skill to be good at being a bard anyway.
It takes a certain talent, according to them.
That's bullshit. No, I'm serious. It's complete and utter bullshit. Let me guess. They're one of those groups that's like, oh yes, all bardic action has to deal with singing. Yes?
Any musical instrument. Or the voice, you know.
Yeah, it's bullshit. And she grins and says, I mean, I'm a bard. I don't sing. Or at least I don't use it. I don't use my magic that way. I use my magic by talking. Like, talking is really easy. Anyone can talk. Well, no. Actually, some people are mute. Well, they can still talk if they learn sign. So, like, anybody can talk. Anyone. Ugh. People like that annoy me. And, there's dance, there's swordsmanship, there's storytelling, there's all sorts of things, really. Basically, that's full of shit, and I am so sorry you had to deal with those people.
Ah, well. I'm not gonna let it affect me anymore.
Good on you.
Besides, I have better things to do.
And personally, I think you make a much better paladin than a bard anyway. Hey, I just realized you're a paladin and your patron is your best friend. Does that mean you're a paladin?
What?
Because pal is another word for friend.
I should tell that to him when he starts talking to me again.
And she kind of laughs and says, hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later.
Let's see. Hmm. You know, as a player, Gil's gonna fall silent, but there there is a thing that needs to be mentioned, and everyone doesn't know when to mention it about Chifley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There is
It
that.
needs it needs to be mentioned, and unless you want to put it on Coda's shoulders,
I'm not going to do that. So, Prismatone kind of tilts her head and says, You know, it's going to be interesting seeing when you finally get your full dynamic rounded out.
dynamic rounded out. What are you talking about?
You know, the whole hero, villain, damsel shenanigans.
He looks over at you, kind of puzzled, and raises an eyebrow.
Oh, right, you haven't met Blue yet. Chifley, what's his name?
Blue.
Oh, wait, you have met him. You have met him.
Chifley?
Hmm. Yeah, he and Sammy are friends.
Friends.
Hmm. If you wanted to, I don't know, get under Sammy's skin, I would say that would be a pretty good way to do it.
Mm. Gil grins.
But of
Oh.
course, you didn't hear that from me. And she makes sort of a cartoonish zip lock, throw away the key type gesture.
Of course. It was definitely not. There's definitely no one here. I'm not talking to anyone.
You are talking to empty air. You are talking to somebody no one knows exists. Well,
I
3
mean,
people know.
I kind of do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, I've
Except, no,
noticed.
people do know Psychopomp exists because Bob knows, and Marcel knows, and Sandy knows because I've brought him up a bunch of times.
You know, if you wanted to start trying to get him a bit more power, I know I'm already going to be giving him something of a boost when we actually have our conversation, but you could try building some sort of altar or shrine. That always seems to help.
That's a good idea. Thanks.
No problem. Always happy to help. And she kind of sighs and leans back on her hands and stares up at the stained glass roof that is sort of. It's really actually kind of pretty. It's a bunch of panels of different colors
Mhm.
with a single, like, circle of pure glass in the middle.
You know, I've always liked the sound of the rain.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The first day that
Kind of.
I got to
Hmm?
exist, the first day I got to exist, it was raining, and I was absolutely fascinated by it.
Oh, you kind of cut out there.
Oh, she's just kind of absent-mindedly staring at the ceiling. And when you mention that you like the sound of rain, she like asks, "Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it?" And mentions that the first day I ever got to come into existence and be a person, it was pouring rain outside, and I couldn't do my job because I was too fascinated by the way the colors bounced across the walls.
On my favorite days, it always rains.
Maybe it's your good luck charm. Rainy weather.
Well then, I guess I hope it rains. Stopheles might have a problem with that, but, well. I can always give him a scrub afterwards to apologize for the rain.
Apologize for water with more water. And she kind of looks at you. And I should mention, like, I haven't mentioned this the whole time. She's a lot fucking taller than you.
I mean, Gil's used to people being a lot taller than him.
Yeah,
Looks at Marcel, looks at Ross.
this is an 8'9" goddess. She is taller than Marcel or Ross.
Yeah. She's freaking tall, but Gil is not intimidated by other people's tallness.
Bless his heart. Yeah, and she's not trying to be intimidating, but she just kind of looks down at you and smiles and says, I'm glad that things have started looking up for you.
You know, I'm glad too.
Oh. Out of character, is there anything else you want them to have to talk about?
Nope. I think the conversation's pretty much petered out to them listening to the rain.
Yeah. And she kind of listens for a couple seconds and is like, doesn't seem like this is going to stop anytime soon, but if you want to keep your luck charm when you're going to ask out Sammy, and she reaches into her skirt again, which seems to serve as sort of a godly hammer space. And she pulls out an inky black umbrella. And she like reaches over, lightly taps like right in front of your mouth. Like she doesn't actually touch you, but she taps the air in front of your mouth and pulls a string of your voice from it. And
Gil kind of startles backwards at the tap, but is very curiously watching what's going on here.
And she sort of flicks the umbrella open and uses the pattern that she has just pulled from your voice to add a bit of a pattern to the edge of the umbrella, which then takes the form of a proper umbrella instead of an umbrella made of pitch black ink. And it's a black umbrella with the pattern of your voice going around the edge of it. And she says, if I remember right, he's at home right about now. And then she tells you his address. And hands you the umbrella.
Oh. Well, I guess this is a blessing. He says as he takes it.
Well, I've got to have my moments of divine intervention.
He twirls the umbrella around before kind of setting it against his shoulder. And standing up, because I realized he hadn't stood up yet, so he's gonna do that.
It was nice to meet you, Gil.
It's nice to actually meet you, Prismatone.
And then she sort of winks and waves, and then she vanishes. Like, you blink, and then she's no longer there.
Mm-hmm. Gil gives a bow towards the statue before kind of swirling around in a dance-like step and stepping out into the rain with the umbrella over top him so he doesn't get wet in the cold rain.
There's another gate here in the courtyard, like next to the statue that leads back out to the street, so you don't have to go back through the theater.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's gonna take that one.
And I believe that's where we end our FPS, no?
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this impromptu FPS. I think that actually went quite swimmingly. Everybody say goodbye to our listeners. Goodbye, listeners!
Goodbye.